All episodes of the Terrible Gamers podcast contain subject matter and language that some audiences may find offensive. The opinions expressed during the podcast are conversational in nature and expressed only for comedic purposes. We are not licensed by any game company, we just enjoy playing games. Not all the facts will be correct, but we will attempt to be as accurate as possible. By listening to this podcast, you understand that it is solely for entertainment purposes. Listener discretion is advised.
You know I don't play video games no more. Tiny bit of video game. I guess I still play fucking video games. Yeah!
Welcome back.
I see. I don't know when you actually click the fucking button anymore. So
It's always a crapshoot anymore. I almost did get some good dialogue there a minute ago.
candid dialogue.
Candid dialogue, but I figured it probably wasn't nice, so I chose against it.
That's the bonus features that you have to pay extra for that, folks.
Yes, maybe when we do a live stream. So
No cutting it out then.
absolutely. All right, so welcome everybody to Terrible Gamers Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kevin,
And I am
With
Kyle.
me is Kyle, always. So today's episode is we are going to be talking about violent video games. So just to introduce the podcast, is a podcast about all things retro, all retro video games, and that is, debatable on what you feel like is retro, because for some people, PlayStation 3 is retro.
Literally.
Yeah, some kids never even played it before, but so anything retro, and we are the only one in Brentwood, Indiana, Northwest Indiana, and again, I'm going to stand by this, the Chicagoland area, because nobody is stupid enough to do it except for us. So, like I said, today's episode is all about violent video games.
So I have the definition pulled up here. Violent video game means any video game which includes depictions of or simulations of human-on-human violence in which the player kills or otherwise causes serious physical harm to another human. You already gotta go get another beer. That's how we started the last one.
I know. The last one was you getting it.
Oh, one of them's up on the screen already. So I have a list of the top 10 most controversial. Is that what it says? Controversial or
Can't you read
controversial violent video games. Did a good amount of research on this one. A little easier. But the one that comes up number one consistently is Death Race, which was an arcade game, only playable on an arcade, in an arcade. Wasn't on the Atari, wasn't on Nintendo, wasn't on stuff like that. You're gonna say something?
No, I just opened my beer and went,
Gotcha. The Death Race game was made after the movie, based on the cult movie Death Race 2000, which was one of Stallone's early films. But I've never played the game. What does this game look like?
So, first off, it's a pre-Atari era, I'd say, because Atari was late 70s, we said. So
Yeah,
it's like Atari era, right? And the last time that we played a game that was based off of a video game from Atari, it fucking sucked.
Was that E.T.?
Well, E.T. No, E.T.'s not that bad.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, we played a few.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Based on a movie.
And we said we were never going to bring it back up, but here I am bringing it back up.
You always bring it up.
Death Race, though. Death Race essentially was you were controlling a car and you were trying to run over people.
Are you moving straight? Or are you going side to side?
So it is kind of all over.
Oh god, that's horrible.
So it
looking.
is black and white, and you are just a car, and you are...
So it almost looks like a Galaga kind of setup. There's people, but it's not straight up and down. There's it looks like a football field. And people are trying to cross this field, and you're just trying to drive around and mow them down.
Pong meets Frogger.
Pong, that's a good one. Pong meets Frogger, yeah.
Right, because you got two vertical lines. People are trying to cross this field, and you have this Model T looking car. It's just clearly looks like an eye.
And each round you have 25. You have 30 seconds in each round
to just mow down as many people as you can.
To just kill as many people as you can. And when you do kill someone,
little ding.
Yeah, and a little cross comes up for them.
Oh, sad.
A little ground.
A little grave marker.
Yep. So, You can do 2 players. There is a 2-player version where you are competing against the other person
to kill more people,
trying to kill more people. So
and see, that's so like you asked before this, what makes it violent? Like I think is in the definition was human versus human. So like this is why I have no problem with my son playing Halo because he's killing aliens, but I wouldn't want him playing Call of Duty.
Well, what about Doom?
Those aren't people. They're demons.
Does this qualify in your definition?
Yeah, because
really.
You're driving. The assumption is that you're
assuming there's somebody
yes.
driving the car. What if an alien's driving the car?
Based on the movie though. So the movie shows you what. We have an audience.
Oh yes. We should introduce. So today I'm going to say we have a live audience today because there's more than just one person. There's 2 people here today.
Right, we're being joined by my wife, Kristen.
First timer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If this was a sex episode, I'd say she's a virgin.
But it's not the sex
It is not the sex episode.
We're going to talk about the sex episode like so much.
Oh.
And we're never going to even put it out.
Yeah, it's always going to be
it's going to be
post. It's always going to be
Patreon.
Later to release. It was supposed to be the very next one that was released, but
no,
we're pushing it back again.
Yeah, we'll keep it in the.
Also with us,
we'll keep it in our pants for now.
Returning for the third time.
Well, this is my 3rd time, but you're not publishing the other one I was on, so.
True.
So
this might be the 2nd time when this actually gets aired, but it is the 3rd recording she is on, and as Carol as my wife. So welcome back and welcome to Kristen.
Woo! Hello.
So
I have a question, actually.
Would you like to give her give her the mic?
Give her the mic?
Yeah, just in case. I don't know if it's going to pick up.
On your list of 10, I'm not a gamer, but there was a game I played in the 90s.
Okay.
But it was PC. It was a PC game.
It was politically correct?
It was very politically not correct. Unless you consider blasting Nazis politically correct, in which case Wolfenstein.
Aha.
3D.
So
First-person shooter.
I personally agree with you and would put it on the list as Kyle just licked the bottle.
I had to lick the whiskey. The drip was getting away from me.
Again, if this was the sex episode, I'd be very turned on right now. But it's not. It just became creepy.
I have a first-time beer. First time we're drinking whiskey on.
Oh
on
yeah.
the podcast.
So we'll get back to your Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
One sec. We have to do the other intro to this. So today, what is everybody drinking? Kristen, what are you drinking today?
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
So she's got the Old Smoky salted caramel whiskey.
Old
which
Smoky
is just
salted.
fucking good.
Carol, what are you drinking?
White Claw.
She does not break from her character.
Nope.
White Claw.
Well, so I have the whiskey, but I also have a Foggy Geezer, which is a beer from War
Fuck
Pigs.
did you just call me?
You heard me. It's an IPA. It's delicious.
And where's it from?
From War Pigs.
From War Pigs.
War Pigs is the brewery, but I want to say this is a beer that they make with Three Floyds, which is a local brewery.
Nice.
Very
nice.
Very, very, very local.
Shout out to the Three Floyds in the next town over.
Yeah, welcome
Monster.
to. Feel free to sponsor us. Thank you. Before you went big on Icy Light, you were huge on Yingling.
Yes.
And then Yingling became not exclusive, and you were like, well, I don't like it anymore.
Correct. Well, no. Hold on.
It's because they made chocolate beer.
Oh, God. So,
Hershey's beer.
Yingling made
I
the...
have one up in my fridge. But
Yeah,
you don't like it.
it's real old. I would not touch
it a
it. But it's
stout?
going to stay there forever. It is...
Or is it like that Hershey's Porter?
It is like just a Yingling with Hershey's in it. And it's a little darker.
Is it you?
Yeah,
No, I'm wondering if it's not.
it is.
Okay.
It's the Hershey's version.
There you
of
go.
So everything... So Yingling is from Pennsylvania. Hershey's is Hershey, Pennsylvania. They're towns that are very close to each other. So they collabed and made a Hershey's Yingling beer that I think is absolutely disgusting. Yes. So to answer your question about Yingling, yes. Now that it is more readily available, I still love Yingling. I love Yingling.
Oh, yeah, it's good stuff.
It's really good stuff. But I don't want to drink it. I don't want to say I don't want to drink it as much. If I have Icy Light available to me, I'm drinking the Icy Light because I can only get that when I'm in.
His Icy
Back.
Light's like Alaskan Amber.
Yeah, it's like some people are big on Spotted Cow, which you can
Yes.
only get in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not big on it either, but it's not
No,
bad.
I used to love Spotted Cow until I had a really bad night.
Yeah, well, that'll do it.
When you were here, when Tom was here.
You and
That's
Tom
when
and
you stopped-
Jamie.
That's when you stopped bringing
yeah.
spotted cow.
Oh, it was bad. It was like
One
a
of those
3
4 a.m.
It was like a 3-day hangover. It was bad.
So back to
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Back to
So Kristen's
violence.
episode about question on her episode. Her question about Wolfenstein. Technically, by these terms, they are zombies. Nazi zombies.
Oh, which is a technicality.
It's a technicality. However, so is Doom. Doom is
I was gonna say.
Okay, and Doom is
demonic zombie marines.
Doom is number 3 on this list.
Okay, so Doom. Okay, so then is Wolfenstein not on that list?
It is not on here.
I'm shocked by that, honestly.
That makes no sense. 'Cause
Doom
if
was
you
the
go-
first time many people had seen a first-person shooter, which I think is why it made the list. Because you were just all you saw was the barrel of the gun.
Yeah, but Wolfenstein is essentially the same thing, but instead of killing demons and
You're killing Nazis.
you're killing Nazis.
But there was blood, gore, shotguns, chainsaws. That's, I think, what kind of puts Doom on here.
But in Wolfenstein, are you
guess.
the demon?
No,
No.
you're like the good guy
You're
that's
the
killing
hunter.
Nazis.
The
But if
thing
it's human on human, then why wouldn't it make the list?
Because the zombie's
he's
not
saying
human anymore.
It's just
a zombie. It's
It's a
not
monster now.
it is. Yeah, I mean it's
Got it.
sort of like a Nazi
Human.
zombie.
Got it.
Yeah, but I guess the original Doom, there are guys in there that are.
Clearly not human looking.
No, they are. There's some human looking ones, but they're no less human looking than the Wolfenstein guys. Like they look exactly like the
True.
Wolfenstein guys.
But I
They
think
are human. Because to be
But
honest,
when did-
until right this second, I did not know that they
They
were
were zombies.
zombies.
you
But
thought they
to
were
be
just
fair,
like straight.
I was so young when I played that game.
Well,
that
and the boss in Wolfenstein is like Mecha Hitler. So it's like a
Yes.
robot Hitler.
yes,
But the bosses in Doom are literally demons, like literally the devil.
and honestly, like I didn't really think about it, and I thought I would have nothing to contribute to this episode. But like when I saw the Doom,
which Wolfenstein?
it reminded me 3D Wolfenstein 3D.
Wolfenstein
Which is
3D.
1992,
Yes.
Yes.
and
That's it.
Doom was 1993.
Correct. Wolfenstein actually
Is
came
older.
out. Yes, it came out before Doom.
Only video game I've ever played, start to finish, beat the whole thing. The
That's a
only
good game too.
Only
That's a
game I
that's a
played.
great
You said
game.
It's PC.
The one
Is
I
that
played
maybe
was
why it's not
PC.
on that list?
No,
It's
no,
not
no,
on
no,
the
no.
console?
Yeah.
No, because Doom.
No,
Well,
because whatchamacallit isn't the first game. Death Race was only on arcade, only on like in an arcade. It did not go on any
straight,
console.
yeah, straight arcade.
So yeah, that can't be.
Doom did come out on the Sega 32X as well as the Super Nintendo. So it did get a console release. So that could be another reason. But Death Race was arcade only, straight arcade only.
Could only play it in classic arcade setup.
Right, but it was an arcade. It was a gaming console system of a sort.
Well,
Where
PC
this-
counts as a gaming console.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, like because there's plenty that are on other lists that we've
I'm just
talked
trying to
about where
find
it's
the technicality.
multi-platform.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to why Wolfenstein's not on here. I'm guessing it's because Doom is first person blasting. You just see yourself killing shit,
Got it.
and that was the first time something like something like that was consistently happening. But before we get to Doom, the number 2 on this list, which I'm going to challenge you to, is Mortal Kombat.
All right.
Can you not challenge me to it?
No, we can. There's that controller up there, and I don't know how much the reach we have.
So maybe you get this one.
Yeah,
Can you reach that glowing?
just see how far you might have to switch spots. Hold up.
I'm good right here. I'm good right
You're
here.
good right here. You're probably gonna beat me anyways. So it's what is the game?
Mortal Kombat.
you
I
say
put it
that?
right on there. Yeah.
All right.
You want to tell your story about Mortal Kombat?
I believe I mentioned it. I believe I mentioned it in the Super Nintendo episode, where so I had the Super Nintendo when I was a kid.
Yep.
I know you listeners who are taking notes every week will remember me saying this, but my brother did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah.
So in my head, Mortal Kombat is synonymous with "Go go go Joseph," you know what they say, like finish him. Like that's in my head. They're just locked together perpetually in my head. Are you doing that?
I'm not doing that.
Are we glitching here?
I think so.
There,
Oh,
there it
wait.
stopped. Okay, so
Okay,
we
I
got
hit A.
good old classic Mortal Kombat up. We're doing tournament. I hit start. I'm gonna go with. Are you gonna be?
Go ahead. You can be whoever you want.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's your system
I wanna say
because
I
we're
wanna
playing on
do-
the Super Nintendo, not the Sega.
I want to say Scorpion's my.
Do you know the difference between the two Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis versions
No.
of Mortal Kombat?
Enlighten.
No.
The Super Nintendo version did not have as much gore
Oh, as a Sega, I did
as
hear
the
that.
Sega Genesis version.
More blood splashing.
There was
and
more blood splashing
splatter, yeah.
and different
fight.
Okay, so you chose
We both went
Scorpion.
for it. Yeah, we went for the sick battle
Yeah.
here. Sub-Zero versus Scorpion.
Sub-Zero versus Scorpion.
I need to switch to the D-pad so I can.
That's what she said. It looks like so far. Oh yeah, Sub-Zero won the first round. Beat you in your own game, son.
Yeah, you did. I'm trying to figure out how to do the damn spear thing.
I'm just button mashing. Oh, it's back B, I think.
Okay, well, my controller has 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't even have.
Yeah, good call. I don't know.
We're just dancing in front of each other here. I haven't thrown a spear. I haven't thrown fire.
Did you play this, Carol, when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Did you?
Up.
Yeah, we played against Kyle.
Oh, I've
We're just
learned how
trying
to uppercut.
to uppercut each
We
other.
both just tried uppercutting.
And we're just
Nobody
a little
did.
too far away
Yeah.
from each other.
Oh, Jesus.
Kyle, do you think this was like chess?
Oh.
Remember when you taught me how to play chess? And
Was that like when we played karate?
No, that's different. No, Kyle taught me how to play chess when we were little because he wanted to learn how to he wanted to practice, have a practice partner, right? So you could play
She's
better.
making shit up. You
And
could-
then I started beating him, and he was like, "We're done." So maybe Mortal Kombat was kind of like that. I just pushed buttons because I didn't know what I was doing, and
And
then
you probably
we were
beat the
done.
shit out of me.
And then we were
Because I
done.
was probably like, I'm trying to figure out how to throw the spear. Stop.
He's trying to be all strategic about it, and I was like, "Buttons, buttons, buttons," and then
That's how I play.
finish him, right?
Oh, there it is. Finish him.
If
Oh.
So I lose.
Sub-Zero
if I
wins.
played
Which I think is
right
how it's
now,
supposed to
that's
go
all I would
in
do is
canon.
smash buttons. I wouldn't have a clue.
I mean, he also had the good controller, so I mean, who knows?
It could be.
There's variables here, folks.
I don't know.
He's-
I was just button mashing, so.
That's
Excuses. No.
Oh, I'm playing my podcast
I'm
over.
done. This podcast's done. Well, we're 18 minutes. That's good enough for that.
Podcast sucks.
Good enough for this one. I'll see you next week. In 2 weeks. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Oh man! All right, so that was the number 2 most violent video game of all time, which is Mortal Kombat. Does it say specifically which Mortal Kombat though?
It says Mortal Kombat 1992.
So the original.
The original, yeah. So when it hit arcades in 1992 and home consoles the next year, Mortal Kombat jumped out because of the gore it depicted in digitized graphics. Brandishing severed heads, ripping out heart spines, and helped put Mortal Kombat at the head of the pack, prompting hearings in Congress, and led to the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board, which is that little thing in the corner of every game now.
Okay. Who was it that introduced? Because I do have a listener feedback comment
Okay.
of the rating systems. Who was it that introduced the rating systems in video games?
Some old lady. That was my phone, sorry.
Oh, okay. That's like I just heard a bunch of beeping. Wrong episode.
It was a parent group.
Possibly. Video.
Do you not know the answer to the question you asked?
No, I forgot to look it up. Okay. Rating system.
It was it Nancy Reagan?
That's what the listener had sent me was Nancy Reagan,
What did I just call this thing?
and I just put it's ESRB. It was founded in 1994. So I will read the question in the comments.
In response to
Are you
criticism
looking to read it
of
again?
controversial
No.
video games with excessively violent or sexual content. And it doesn't say who started. It just says by Congress.
Okay.
But
So
who originally brought it up?
yeah, who originally brought it up? But so it was because of Mortal Kombat, though. It looks like.
Was it Nancy Reagan, or did this come about as no? I'm thinking of music.
But
Never mind. I'm pretty sure it was Nancy Reagan, wasn't it?
I mean, they do mention the background for this. They do mention games that we talked about on that sex one. That
and they talk about
developer known as Mystique, and
for adult video games.
they
like
literally
Custer's.
talk about Custer's Revenge.
They also talk about Death Race, where you're required to run over gremlins,
Oh, Gremlins. Oh, well, that I don't feel
which
so
isn't
bad.
human.
Yeah, I don't feel so bad then for running over them.
But maybe that's what they said, because in the movie you're running over people.
So let me go. It does say Senators Joe Lieberman of Connecticut, Herb Kohl of Wisconsin, Herb. Those were the main ones. It sound that they say in the.
Sure, there were a lot of fun at parties.
I'm sure, yeah.
But I mean, there has been, especially since
Herb Cole up there in Wisconsin having his spotted cow there.
God damn.
especially since
Let's go Packers.
School shootings have become more and more like commonplace, even since these games came out.
In the section about Doom, it was talking about Columbine.
Yeah.
So, ew.
They've
Which
done
is
a lot of
a few years
research
later.
on this, actually, and the research has shown that video games do not cause violence. In fact, they can be beneficial for people. You get that out in a video game setting, in a virtual setting, so that you're less likely to do it in real life, I guess.
Hot takes.
Yeah. So, it's funny that you say Nancy Reagan
Yeah.
because the quote, the question that I got, they actually mentioned Nancy Reagan in it as well too. So here's a question from our
basically our third host.
from our other listener, from our number one listener.
Listener
we
Prime.
gotta say he's the number one.
Listener
S.
Prime.
Listener
Only
S.
listener?
No, he is not the only. How rude of you.
We have
Hey,
Drink my
speaking of,
whiskey.
You know what?
Shout out to Jamie, my friend, who likes me on the show.
She listened to this.
Jamie-
not that Jamie.
Jamie and no. So shout out to
Edit
the
that out. Intro them along.
shout out to Work the Yarn podcast. Our friends Jamie and Jeff over there. They do a great job. So if you have a chance and you like old wrestling, definitely give them a listen.
They do a wrestling podcast.
a wrestling podcast
where they rewatch old matches and overdo the commentary.
yes,
love that.
Like they
it
do it
is
on
great.
mute.
Like MXC. Kinda
Yes,
like MXC.
yes, and I've
I
been
love
on a
that.
few times now. I've been on
You want more?
four different episodes.
I'm good.
And it's a great time. It's so much fun. They just released their newest episode, so with me on it. So, Terrible Gamers podcast has had over 100 listeners,
And we're only like 15 of them.
yeah. So, listener S, what are your thoughts about video games contributing to real life violence? And so we already talked about that. So I'm glad you brought that up. Do you think Nancy Reagan was a punk ass bitch when she introduced the rating system? So it's funny that Kristen mentions Nancy Reagan, and listener S also asked about Nancy Reagan.
That is not in here.
I don't see anywhere in this very quick internet research. Again, we would love to do the research ahead of time when we had more time, but we need your help with that to share our podcast to the masses to get there so we can spend more time on the podcast. But I don't see anything about Nancy Reagan, so I'm actually just going to type in Nancy Reagan and
ESRB.
video games. Video games. There you go.
And
Just say no.
Can I have the controller really quick, and
Yes.
I'll load up.
Yes, sir.
I'll load up Doom while you're doing this. Doom was. It's got to be the.
Yeah, Doom is a amazing game. Doom did come out on the Super Nintendo. It is not that great on the Super Nintendo. I would look for it on the Sega 32X. It'll be a better version of it.
A little slow on the Raspberry Pi there.
You guys need like a PC gamer. You've got like Sega, you've got Nintendo. You need somebody who primarily grew up with PC.
Isn't that why you're here?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly an expert on that.
We covered PC games. We talked about
we
Seventh Guest.
Yeah, we do we do try to cover, and Leisure Suit Larry is a PC game.
I think PC games
Oregon
I
Trail.
played all time is going to be Ski Free.
Oh, Ski Free was solid.
You don't know Jack?
You don't know
You
Jack,
know Jack, yeah.
for sure.
Game.
Oh,
Then like Seventh Guest and The Mist, or was it just
Oh,
Mist?
I couldn't
Mist.
get past level 1 of that
But
game.
the Age of Empires,
Yes.
Roller Coaster
those
Tycoon.
games, and Roller Coaster Tycoon. That's exactly what I was saying.
So
Those are my
I do
PC
have
games.
Roller Coaster Tycoon Deluxe on here as well on my actual computer. I bought it, and then also Age of Empires 2 was a free download because of the Xbox Game Pass. So I do have that. So it's kind of nice going back and replaying that game because it is so much fun.
So I've got
So
Doom
awesome.
loaded up here. That's our number 3, and you have to pick your skill level.
Let me just say something real quick before you go into Doom. Nancy Reagan
thank
was
you.
more about just say no, and that was to the drugs more than the video games.
So she was for sex and
So-
violence.
She was,
But not drugs.
She was for
That's what he's saying.
She did not like drugs.
Well, because the ESRB was specifically towards sexual games and violent games.
Yes,
She was against drugs.
she was against drugs. So she don't like.
So
the-
let me ask you this. I mean, you both are parents of young boys that play games. Do you guys feel like I know our son recently started playing Halo.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, like, how do you feel about your kids playing violent video games? Like,
I think
you know, are you
gotta
okay
be.
with it? Are you not okay with it? Like, how do you feel about it personally?
Well,
Like I
let's at
said.
least say ages.
So Jack
Our-
just turned 9,
9 and Eddie.
8. He will. Yeah.
You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean?
He's in his 9th year.
He has started in 9th year.
What number beer is this? No, okay.
How about another?
Eddie is 6.
Good job getting that right, because I failed at that.
Yeah. And he loves Five Nights at Freddy's, which is more of a scary game, not a violent game. But you are getting killed every time.
Fine.
there's
I
a-
would say that there's fine.
Yeah,
You don't
but,
see it.
but you never see the violence. You just
It's not like
you
you
see
the blood running down the screen.
correct.
Like you
Well,
saw on some of those
You see the face right in front of you.
But also,
and then it cuts out.
You're not the player that's committing the act of violence in Five
You're-
Nights
you're
at Freddy's.
victimized.
You are the victim.
It's a little different. So I mean, like,
But it's more of a jump
But
scare
Jack
game
is
versus a violent
but
game.
Jack is playing Halo, which is the only shooter game I think he plays. I can't think of anything else he plays, and you're literally killing stuff. But I'm okay with it because it's aliens.
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't want him playing.
I
Call of Duty.
wanted to make this point on this about violent video games. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You already probably know what I'm gonna say. Super Mario Brothers is a
yeah.
violent video game because I mean there's
You're
a
killing turtles.
there's a land of Goombas that are just like being offed left and right by this plumber dude that just
Well, he's on mushrooms.
he definitely is on mushrooms and he doesn't know. But what if he's actually killing people? But because he's on mushrooms,
It's all
he thinks,
psychedelic
he
trip.
thinks they're Goombas and Koopa Troopas.
That's
so I'm not like
that's
a
not canon.
Halo. I'm not like a I've seen you play a couple times, but like how graphic is it?
not really. You'll get you'll see blood when you kill like the little guys, but I mean most of it's just shields and then they die.
And I would agree to his point that Halo isn't as bad. It is, don't they? I don't know. Is it rated M for mature Halo?
I don't think so.
It might be
It might
only
be.
because of the
'Cause your
language.
guns.
Yeah, the guns and the language. Because at some point, some of the language, but some kids might not realize what they're even saying. Like I know when I was playing video games when I was younger, like I'm going through here, playing. You got Doom pulled up right now.
Correct.
There was bad words in Doom, and it like went over my head. Like I know that it said it, but it went over my head. Like I didn't even think twice.
It was
I was
rated
more
M for
worried
mature.
about not being scared later in the evening, looking at these demons in my dreams that I'm killing. You know?
didn't answer her question though.
Halo
I'll
is.
answer the question
What was the question?
about being.
How do you feel about him playing? But he doesn't play violent games. That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah, so I mean, for Eddie, he doesn't play. He plays
jump scare game.
He plays jump scare games, which probably isn't the best parenting decision we've ever made.
But he still sleeps through the night.
But he even he even said just today. He said I mean I don't even have dreams anymore. Like I mean I don't have any scary dreams. I was like, well, that's good, bud.
No dreams or ambition.
Yeah. No, he does have an ambition to be a YouTuber. So
Halo is rated M.
not if he makes millions of dollars.
Rated M for blood, gore, and violence. Halo is. So yeah, it is. Maybe I'm not making the best decision.
Blood, gore, and violence. But the blood in Halo
is green goo, right?
Is green goo getting blasted when you blow up the dude's tank that he uses to survive.
But I also feel like he's like emotionally smart enough to know that this is fake. This isn't reality, and it's kind of like a modern day version of G.I. Joes or playing cops and robbers or whatever, or you know.
Well, because the other big game they
Bang,
play
you're dead. Like when you're 6. Like
is Among Us. Among Us is the big game that they'll play.
Yeah,
which is
play that.
Okay.
Murderers.
Can I ask a really dumb question about Call of Duty or Halo in this aspect?
Sure.
Is it military based? Like, are you supposed to be like a military
Call of
person?
Duty is.
Both your military.
Oh,
Okay.
Call of Duty, yes.
I didn't know. I'm just asking.
In Halo, it's in the future. It's like in 2500.
You're a space marine.
Yeah.
It. Okay.
Space Force.
You're a space Power Ranger, basically.
Yeah,
Like you
Space
have
Force.
you're biomechanically enhanced
So
with
more service based.
You're saving the world. You're a marine.
Is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers
Violent.
it's violence against
Well,
martial arts against, but it's against.
I was playing
Putties. I can't
Wolfenstein
remember.
at
Is it
age like 8 and 9.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's
So-
what I talked about that on one of the past episodes too. That I went on Saturday mornings when my dad had to work. We would play Doom on the computers in the conference room. Yeah. Like it's just like, why do you have Doom on the conference room? Because that's what it came standard on there. That and like Tetris or something. I don't know. It's like you went from one extreme to the next.
Yeah.
So Kyle, all right. So back to Doom.
Yeah, sorry, back to Doom.
So back to Doom, and
I've got this pulled up. So you have to pick your skill level, and the choices. It's not just
Beginner.
easy, hard, expert. It's I'm too young to die as the top level. Hey, not too rough. Hurt me plenty is the default.
That sounds dirty.
Ultra violence is your like level 4, and then nightmare being your level 5 hardest level to play at. So you get a nice little preview of the grid that you kind of work through.
So
These
naturally,
things do not look very human.
Naturally, you're gonna play Nightmare.
I was gonna play Hurt Me Plenty, but I can play Nightmare.
I mean, for these purposes,
Go straight to Nightmare.
yeah. Let's just go straight for.
So entering level 1.
I mean, you're gonna get off real quick here.
Wow.
I'm gonna get off real quick.
Another episode, guys.
I should. What? Oh, it's not.
I don't
Okay,
even
it's
know
not
which-
triggers.
Yeah. I think it automatically aims for you. That was the nice thing about Doom. Oh, you're already at 7% health. So Nightmare was not a good choice. I'm sorry. That is totally my fault.
I would never.
You didn't even make it
I
up
did
the
get up. I
stairs.
did get to the shotgun.
You got.
Gosh, this is like I kind of like want to go home and like find Wolfenstein to play. I mean, is there secret passageways like there are in
I'm punching.
in Wolfenstein where you find like ammo and guns and things like that
Yeah.
in this game?
It's literally Wolfenstein.
It's like the same game.
Yes, it's the same. The same
They didn't even
people
kill the second
created
guy this
it.
time. So yeah,
Well, I can tell.
tough
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're just going through. Yeah, these people look very human. They have red eyes.
Yeah,
That's about it.
They're demonic
I
humans.
need to turn the damn.
That movie was good though.
Thank you.
With The Rock?
Saved my life.
Yes,
Again.
Yeah, you always like Doom the movie.
I always
with,
liked
with Carl
it.
Urban
I
and
don't know.
next on our list. So sorry, Doom was kind of a bust here because I'm not good.
I'm
at it.
sorry. I told you to play Nightmare mode.
Yeah, I would have
and
never
you
have done
did,
that in
and-
real life.
Oh, there's
Next up on this, are we good to move on? While you
Yeah,
try
whenever-
to
yeah, go
get
ahead.
past these first two guys that I couldn't.
Yeah. I'm
Next
trying
on
to-
the list is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, we're not gonna play Grand Theft.
If any one game inherited the mantle of violent game poster child, it was Grand Theft Auto. This game was controversial from the earliest incarnation because it let players do just about anything. as they
This is one of
portrayed
those
criminals.
games that I feel like still holds up though. It's
Well, it definitely still holds up. They still play it.
yes, the well, middle school teacher.
Yeah, she's a
But-
middle school teacher.
They talk about playing GTA all the time.
Yeah, GTA 5 is still a big online following, big game that
Well, they-
continues to be played.
They asked me the other day, like, Mrs. Ellis, did you ever play GTA? I'm like, well, I watched people play it. What? I'm like, well, it came out when I was in high school, right? Didn't it? No,
No,
middle school.
the original, yeah.
So, I mean, I think that just kind of blows their mind. So it's definitely one of those games that I think will always kind of hold up.
Well, yeah, they just announced GTA 6.
Yeah.
Is finally nearly officially out.
Hopefully soon.
But that's definitely, when I think of violent video games, that's up there, but not just because of you're running around and, you can literally shoot civilians. Like, every single person you run into is interactable.
yeah.
And you can punch them and steal their money and kill them.
Yeah. No, I honestly, in my mind, like, that's number one to me.
I think there's different levels of violence in that one.
Right, because there's
Because
also
it's-
sexual assaults and things like,
Correct.
well, not assaults, but I
It's
mean,
not just-
there's other parts of it that make it a very mature kind of content.
Correct. I mean, it's crashing cars, it's stealing. There's just there's
Mm-hmm.
a broad amount of violence in that game.
Mm-hmm. Or ill-gotten gains kind of mentality to it.
For sure.
Next is a game we definitely brought up before was Silent Hill.
Would you classify that as a violent game or a horror game?
So that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't know how Silent Hill's on here and Resident Evil's not. Were you gonna play it?
Well, I'm just showing you that it was
because it was a Game Boy game.
Yeah,
The Grand Theft
Auto
went up on the Game Boy.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto 2 actually came out on the Game Boy Color. So if you've had a Game Boy Color, I actually have this
You had
game.
a Game Boy Color. You were.
I have this game upstairs right now, Grand Theft Auto. On
You were. I'm sorry.
The what?
The rest of us were in the struggle with the black and white one.
oh, I never had a Game Boy. I had the original Game Boy. I did not have the Game Boy Color, but I had the Game Boy Advance, which could play Game Boy Color games. But I got the Game Boy Advance later on in life. I got the regular Game Boy for Christmas one year.
So
Yeah, but the Game Boy Advance was like 7 years later.
Is that the one that had the camera on it? Like
You
did it come with
could
a
you could
camera?
attach the camera
Yeah.
to the regular Game Boy.
the number 5 on our list here, Silent Hill, was on the list because it had cutscenes. So the gameplay itself wasn't as bad, but the cutscenes included disemboweled and crucified bodies.
Was this like an original version or like the first version? Like, I know I've watched you play games the past 2 decades where they do have like some narrative in it.
Uh-huh.
Like,
was
is
this the first game to do that?
Is this one of the first games to do that, where they cut to like a narrative or like whatever?
In
like a
'99,
story?
I'd assume
Resident
not.
Evil probably first.
Resident Evil definitely had scenes where you had
Yeah,
like the
and that was
like
earlier than Silent Hill.
like we talked about in that PlayStation episode, where it's the first thing you see is the zombie vampire or whatever thing eating that person in the hallway,
Yeah,
and it's not a cutscene, but it is a cutscene.
it technically is a cutscene because I mean
It looks very fluid to it, but it's
you come up to it,
it's not
and then
gameplay.
Yeah,
Right.
you can't control that part.
Right, you can't move during it.
No, and we can't play Silent Hill.
But yeah, that might be a big thing that
we don't have Silent Hill.
That might be a big thing that evolves into gaming, where they started putting in mature themes, like that.
When I think of it, I just think that I don't think violent. I think horror. I think that
Yeah,
game is
Resident
a
Evil, Silent
horror
Hill.
game.
Fear, we talked about, that's a horror game, but
Yeah,
those
when
are
we-
all very violent.
When we had
at the
our
same time.
Halloween episode, we talked about the games that frightened you, and Silent Hill was one of those ones that we did talk about.
Right, because what was the guy's name with the big metal head?
Yep.
I had to look it up then too.
Yep. Slenderman, Foghorn, Hog.
No,
I don't
it's-
know.
Slenderman.
Foghorn, isn't that the Looney Tune?
Yeah, Foghorn, Leghorn. Yeah.
It's the guy with the big pyramid head,
Pyramid, yeah, pyramid head.
something. Yeah.
Not Cubert.
No, definitely not Cubert. Next on the list is a game I never heard of, Postal 2. So the game in which a player goes on a rampage as the postal dude was cited by California lawyers as yada yada yada. But basically, I think you're somebody going postal. And I'm not sure if it's a postal worker. But you abuse and kill cats, killing people who cut ahead of you in line at the bank, urinate on corpses of your victims.
Sounds like it should be number 1.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Grand Theft Auto game.
In 2003, so seems pretty fucking dark. It is in a move that probably seemed clever to someone. You can even kill people protesting against violent video games. So a nice little nod. Nice little nod to the real world in the game, where they literally
track that. Edit.
No, Nancy Reagan was drugs, Kristen.
The game was banned in Australia. The game was banned in Australia in what we'll call another condemnation of sorts, and is featured in the Black Eyed Peas video, Where is the Love? I don't know. Maybe will.i.am liked playing it or something.
Huh.
I don't know. Never heard of this game.
I mean, that sounds like it's gratuitous. Like,
it's a big word
Doom.
for this podcast.
Well, gratuitous. Like, Doom, there's actually some strategy involved. There's a point. There's a mission you got to
And this was just one time.
This is just like urinate on this person you just murdered. Like, kill a cat. Like,
Naturally,
that sounds just.
Yeah, there's no strategy to it. It doesn't sound like
boxes.
That sounds awful to me.
a particular scene in which the player can slam a woman in the face with a shovel until she's decapitated.
Lovely.
How is this not worse than Grand Theft Auto?
This is number 6, but I would say this is the worst one we've talked about. Because at least the other ones, like Resident Evil, and like that's a survival in a horror, like that's different. Like there's alien games where if you die, you're getting eaten by the freaking alien. There's the Predator game. Like games have definitely gotten more violent over time.
Yeah.
But that's not to say there's not still
okay.
Not violent. Like the Bluey game just came out. Like that's not violent. There's still games that are successful, but is Pokemon violent?
You could argue, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm, right, because you're putting two creatures against each other.
It's no different than what Michael Vick did. Sorry.
Oh, that's bad.
I don't know why this one just sounds so much worse than
the rest. I agree.
It just sounds
It
terrible.
does, yes.
The next one is a 2009 on the Nintendo Wii called Mad World. Did you ever play this game?
Mad World? No.
Caught flack for being on the family-friendly Wii console. A cartoonish violence, but think Sin City. The concept of straight-out cartoon as well. You're on a game show in which you earn points for slaughtering people. So
But
fun.
the mission is violent.
So I gotta ask, is the game Chiller on this top 10 list?
It's not on this list, but it's on other.
Because we have
early.
Yeah, we
This
talked
is like just the top 10. But if you look like early, then Death Rays, Chiller, they're on those lists because you have that's the one with the hanging bodies, right?
Yeah. So on Chiller, you're literally killing people. I mean, you're torturing them. They're in a torture chamber, and you're shooting them with the light gun to kill them.
If we want to switch over to finish out this list, BioShock's on there. Then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 makes the list.
Well, that's because of the one. That's honestly the only reason that it becomes violent.
Because of the airport thing?
Because of the airport scene. Because you are literally going in there to mass murder people. And you have no choice but to do that, or else you die. And
One
you
scene
can't
puts the
progress
player in a
the story.
position of deciding whether to join in as an ally guns down innocent civilians in an airport. Right. And then the last on the list is Bulletstorm, which has got a whole lot of...
And the only reason I say that is because with Modern Warfare 2, no other Call of Duty is listed as a violent game, even though you are killing other people. But because it's military, it's militarized.
It's given a pass.
Militarized, is that a word?
Yes.
Militarized, that it's okay.
It's a word,
because
I don't know.
you are fighting a war.
Right.
And it's expected that you're supposed to kill someone in a war. But in that scene specifically with Modern Warfare 2, you can't progress in the game until you go through and start murdering all these people in an airport. Which is not okay.
Yeah, that was always a weird thing.
But Chris, I do like your point about how there's been many studies, because so many people have argued over the years that, Grand Theft Auto, if you play Grand Theft Auto, you're going to be this, serial, car stealer, or, you're going to go around and do all these heinous crimes, and there's just not. I've never understood the validity behind that, and obviously there is none because they've done many studies of this. I mean, it just
And I mean, music too. I mean, it started off there, like, oh, if you listen to this type of music, you're
like Eminem.
Yeah. Yes. Or Marilyn Manson after Columbine. Like that was like, they always have to have something to blame. Where video games are concerned, I do feel like, look at all the people that play these games and they go about their lives in peace most of the time.
An article by the APA, the American Psychological Association, that video games can increase aggression.
You can probably find
With something that says
articles
anything.
both ways.
Sure.
Absolutely. If I try to open up my beer and the pop tab breaks before it opens, I'm gonna fight. You're gonna see some aggression from me.
So I have another list here.
I think it could probably increase violent behavior or thoughts, but like what they're saying is
Direct
connected.
correlation. Yeah.
I mean, there's no one single cause of that. I mean,
I think they're looking at the direct correlation between you played this video game and
You went
went out and did this.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's no evidence supporting that.
So I have another article with 15 violent games, and it starts off with The Witcher, which was... No, that was one of our top grossing games.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when we talked about that one. Outlast, which I never heard of. The first game is, I guess, is part of a trilogy. Second game of the Outlast trials, but it's like you're in an insane asylum. BioShock's on here. Sniper Elite, which seems obvious. You're sniping people.
Yeah. But
Resident-
again, is that's military based.
Resident Evil shows up on here. Then Dishonored. Dead Space, which I think you're going up against some sort of altered humans. I can't remember exactly. I never finished that game. Splatterhouse, which is an older game.
Yeah.
God of War, which is a newer game.
is that PC? Did that come
GTA.
out PC?
God of War.
Yeah.
Gears of War.
Yeah,
Doom.
it does have a PC release.
Postal's number 3 on this list, which I'm more comfortable with. Manhunt, which I never played, and number 1 being Mortal Kombat. But Mortal Kombat just gets a bad name because there's been how many? There's been 12 of them now. Yeah, plenty of Mortal Kombat.
Because they just came out with Mortal Kombat 1.
Right, which is because I played the last one where the whole timeline gets changed.
Yeah.
Right.
So the other thing that I would say is I lost it. Never mind. Forget it.
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
That game. Yep, that one game.
Did we have something queued up to play?
No, I was just scrolling through games. What would you like to play?
Oh, because from our list, it kind of goes to...
You want to do Splatterhouse? We've talked about Splatterhouse before. And it is on the Sega.
Is about as gory a game as you could find. The first Splatterhouse was 2D side-rolling arcade game filled with terrifying demons and bloody action.
Yes, it was. Splatterhouse.
So in Splatterhouse, you take control of Rick, a student whose girlfriend was abducted by demonic monsters. Luckily, or perhaps unfortunately for Rick, he has been possessed by the Terror Mask, an ancient object that turns a wearer into a monster with superhuman strength. So using his newfound power, Rick rips, tears, and shoots his way through hordes of otherworldly horrors.
So apparently I only have Splatterhouse 2 and 3. So we'll go with 2.
You look like Jason. You got a mask.
It does look like Jason.
Oh, that's
what I
Terror
want.
Mask.
Okay, how is Dead by Daylight not on that list? Dead by Daylight, you are literally the murderer going around, and you're taking people and putting them up on a hook,
on a pike,
and hanging them on a hook.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand how that's not on this list.
And there's no point to that. There's not a story to that game.
No,
it is
like
a multiplayer game. Where you're either trying to survive or trying to kill them all.
Yes.
But yeah, I had that thought too. That is definitely a violent game. Splatterhouse 2, it's been 3 months since you escaped. Haunted by guilt and tormented, I missed the rest.
Jennifer screams in the infernal temptations of the mask. So this is like Jason.
Tinkerbell.
And Tinkerbell's on the screen for some reason.
I'm guessing that's Jennifer. Jennifer's pretty hot for a 32-bit.
She doesn't have to die, Rick.
She doesn't have to die, Rick. Oh, that comes later. That's Walking Dead. Sorry.
Can't protect them.
Can't protect him, Rick. There you go.
So it starts off with this cloudy. We can save her. It says on the screen.
Yeah,
It's a cloudy.
like a mansion.
It looks
Burned down, half burned down.
Yeah, in like a forest.
You can see it.
Go back to the house.
I can see it.
Our listeners can't. So we have to explain.
Well, I don't know if they would know what the hell's going on the screen. Honestly.
Lightning and a bird.
Dead tree, raven.
And now it rains because, everything. It looks like it said FU. That's what I thought
clearly
it said.
says FU in the rope.
It's the rope, but it looks like it's saying FU to us.
Nice
and
little nod.
There's something hanging from that rope.
It looks like a turd.
It looks like a
It's gotta be bodies.
Those are bodies. Those are for sure bodies. Wrapped in red cloaks. Maybe.
Those human bodies?
They look demonic.
I don't know. But okay, that's...
Yeah.
We are in the sequel, so maybe that's something you did last time.
Probably.
Who knows?
This is
Previously on Splatterhouse.
But I'll find you there. How
This is just a romance story. Just trying to save
it's in
Jennifer.
red. It's in red. It doesn't have to be blood. Only I can give you the power. I mean, maybe it is a romance.
He's giving her something.
And here comes a house into frame, and it's a pretty big house.
Can you not skip this?
I didn't try to skip it. I wanted to see.
Well, I mean, in older games you can't skip this stuff.
I know.
I'm trying to remember what the hell Dead Space was about.
Oh, there's a skull again. You need me. This is a porno, isn't it? You need me. Oh, I guess that was just the... I probably could have...
Wrong kind of splatter.
Yeah, I probably could have.
Oh, you're face down. That's how you start.
Yeah, so
Wakes up.
you are green Jason, essentially. And
You are ripped.
yeah.
That is a corpse. These are corpses.
Yes, they're
Twitching.
corpses.
Oh,
wow. Man,
One
you are
punch.
powerful. One punch.
Rips you in half. Not you. Punching people in the face, and the entire upper body gets disconnected.
Oh,
But it's-
and
it's
like a leech.
and like
so
lampreys.
fake,
Lampreys
though.
come out of it.
Yeah,
that's
like-
green slime. Like that's not.
It's just amazing graphics.
Oh, wow. I
I'm gonna
just
jump over the pit.
I tried and I hit the wrong button. Okay, sorry. Jump. Oh, is this a... Oh,
Yeah,
a pipe. I
implement,
got a
you
pipe.
have a pipe. Look. Oh my god.
Oh, that was awesome.
So you baseball swing them into this brick wall,
Yeah, I know. They're coming
and
from
they
behind.
splatter
Yeah.
against it.
But there's no blood. There's nothing realistic about it at all.
No. This is so...
But this makes it
Unrealistic.
this.
No guy wears just a mask and overalls.
You don't know that.
Not really ripped.
Okay? Jason does. He wears overalls and
I don't think those are overalls.
It
likes
looks like a
to
onesie.
kick people and splatter them.
I mean, Rick's got hops here, dude. He's jumping like 6 feet in the air.
Wait, is that his name? Is that his name?
Yeah, it was Rick.
Oh. it's
You
not Jason.
can't. She doesn't have to die, Rick. Like, jump again.
Hold on a minute. Jump and
That is
kick.
like a
Oh, that was a nice move.
easily a 5-foot vertical. But he is demon possessed, and he
He
is
just-
baseball swinging bodies 10 feet away.
Okay, this game's actually not
But I
bad.
think that's the thing we're not talking about here is games. This was violent in the early 90s, and
When
now
did this game come out? What year?
Oh my gosh, I have to
This
start
one-
over. He looks like he's peeing there. Look at look at this.
that is funny.
If you push up, if he turns
faces
around
away
and he
from the
faces the
camera.
force, and his hands, the way his hands are placed, it looks like he's peeing. All right, that's enough of this game.
Splatter. What did I say? Splatterhouse was number 3.
It's a
No,
beat 'em
Post-
up. It's a beat 'em up game.
Post
That's
Soul
the
is
best way
number
to
3.
like. If you think Final Fight or like
Once
Double
again,
Dragon,
Where the fuck
Based
is
It's a
it?
on
beat
your
up.
definition, how
It's
does this
not-
come up on violence?
So
Because
Splatterhouse was
oh, it's a
19.
different list. He said
Oh,
it's a different
okay.
list. So
This is 1988.
That's pretty good for 1988.
Well, that was Splatterhouse 2.
Oh.
So I'm guessing the original one is the one that started it
yeah,
as being violent. But what was violence now does not look bad because it was a slow burn. We're the frog that stayed in the frying pan. You know what I mean? Like things slowly got more violent over time.
yes.
But comparatively, that versus Mortal Kombat.
Right, which was
Mortal
only a few years
Kombat
later,
is,
yes.
is way worse. Like, that is nothing.
Okay, so
That's
then
nothing.
Street Fighter. Is Street Fighter as bad as Mortal Kombat?
No.
Because it is literally the same game.
But no blood, no ripping out spines, no decapitations. That's why it's not on this list.
That's true. Fair enough.
You kill them, and they just and then you move on. In Mortal Kombat, you rip their heads off and piss down their neck. Like, you do some crazy shit in that game. Maybe
Basically.
not. I might have played a different version.
Using the heads as toilets.
What game is this?
That looks like a Star Wars game.
It did.
Pod Racer.
Okay.
No, that was not
so,
Final Racer.
Final Fantasy.
I wanted to not bring up Final Fantasy because I know it's a huge game and I never got it. I never played it. I never wanted to. It's a whole different genre of game, and it
Absolutely. But it's like Pokemon.
which I also never really got
It's
into.
one-on-one battle.
But you're like
basically. Or like multiple people. But you're
picking
going
your-
against other people though.
I never got into it. Never liked it. I think I bought I rented like Final Fantasy VIII because it was huge, and I put it on. I'm like, how the fuck do people play this? Like, I just did not understand it.
I would think like
fan.
House of the Dead.
That was a shooter game
Yes.
at the arcade.
Yeah, but I would think that is a violent video game, even though it is not human on human killing.
Yeah.
It is. It's what, zombies?
Yeah, for sure. But like, even Halo is rated M for mature, but I don't think that's violent. I mean, it is, but I'm okay with it. I'm like, that's weird. It's a weird thing.
Is the problem that people have though, like more or less, not that it's violent, but more so the graphic nature of the game?
The blood and the gore.
The blood, the gore, the ripping out a spine, like that's a lot different than
I would assume so.
hitting somebody and green goo coming out. I mean, that's violent, but it's not graphic.
Correct.
Right, because Galaga, you're shooting things down, but you're in a spaceship and you're shooting down spaceships. But it's still effectively the same as Doom, where you're shooting at the thing. Like, it's the bullets come out of one thing, they go into the other thing, and that thing's gone.
All right. What about this? This is Strider. Strider is a classic arcade game, and
You're just swinging a sword.
but you're cutting people in half
half.
and they're blowing up.
Is this medieval or futuristic?
No, it's like futuristic, but you are it's
Space
human
pirate
on
looking
human.
thing.
So like, how is this not considered violent?
right. That's the weird thing here.
Is it because again it's militarized?
I don't know.
Because
But-
you're like a
yeah.
secret agent type guy? Like I don't know how to explain it.
Well, Contra. That was the Punisher was actually on one of these lists.
Okay. Say, how about Punisher?
Yeah, he's swinging an axe at people.
No, This game is amazing. The Punisher game is awesome.
Well, this reminds me of the Capcom X-Men game.
It's all it is, but you're by yourself.
Right. You're not picking Wolverine or Storm.
Correct.
You're just the Punisher.
Yes.
But that's effectively the same thing. Ninja Turtles. Like, any of those, they're all you beating the shit out of Double Dragon. Like, you're beating the shit out of
then-
people, but they're not on these lists as violent
Final
games.
fight.
So can you have a good video game without violence?
Yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah. I mean, and
Even Minecraft.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
But even in Minecraft,
Well, I can make that violent.
Yeah.
and all of it has an element of violence in it. Minecraft, even don't you like kill the?
You
creepers?
can.
Yeah, you kill creepers.
But you don't have to. You go in creative mode and most
Just build stuff. Yeah.
But they have a different.
So what's a
mode
game
that-
with
Crazy
no-
Taxi. Crazy Taxi. That game is amazing. That is Paperboy. You can throw stuff at people.
Well, yeah, you got to hit the dog.
You can hit the dog. The lady's chasing after you with a bat. No, you hit her with a newspaper. Fuck that bitch.
Sports
So,
games. There's NBA 2K, whatever. Like those don't have violence in them.
Yeah, NBA games have zero violence in them. Football and hockey
doesn't have violence, but I mean it's
But some people
part of the
will
game,
argue
kind of.
that hockey and football and all the sports in general are violent in nature.
but that's their contact.
Right,
They're
so
not
NBA
violence.
Probably not so much. Any MLB game, probably not so much. But football and hockey could fall under that category.
And possibly soccer too. I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
soccer. There's contact, but I mean,
I
it's
mean, Tetris. Okay.
Tetris, you're not gonna have any violence. Like
Yeah,
I
but
said,
that's a good question.
Crazy,
What-
crazy Taxi, you don't have
For
violence.
internal rage.
Well,
and like-
most racing games, there's you can you make it violent by like having violence like
blue shells. Yes,
in NASCAR,
violence happens.
Yes,
when people hit me
NASCAR
with blue
99
shells.
for the Nintendo 64, you can crash into people.
But that's not violence. That's bad driving.
But
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to me if you Googled the top 10 video games of all time, how many of them on that list of 10 would be either something that
That's the
you
list we had
Should
earlier.
have fucking been down here an hour ago.
Yeah, when we recorded our other episode, we actually we did.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
We
You're good.
nothing I did.
Shut your faces, okay? Just shut your mouths.
Where's
No.
there a way to do history on this thing?
Although I have
Grand
contributed
Theft
more than I
Auto.
thought I would.
Grand Theft Auto, Halo, Minecraft.
Minecraft is number one.
Yeah.
That's not what I got.
I think it
Top 10
depends on the
video games
list.
of all
It's
time.
subjective.
No, we did best selling.
Okay. Of the best-selling ones, how
Alright.
many of them would you
Fighter.
consider
Minecraft,
graphically violent?
Grand Theft Auto 5 is on top 10. Red Dead Redemption is top 10. Witcher,
Uh-huh.
Overwatch, which has
All right, here we go. I got the list that we had earlier.
that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but I got it by sales. Yeah, I don't know what order you're going in.
I was looking at violent ones in the list.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just
No,
meaning in
So
general.
of the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so top 10, Minecraft
which we just
has
discussed,
has
the violent.
has some violence.
has some violence. Grand Theft Auto 5,
Definitely.
definitely. Tetris,
Tetris is number 3.
Wii Sports.
No, I would say there's no violence in Wii Sports.
There's no violence.
There's boxing.
Oh, come on.
But that's a sport.
That's a sport. That's not like I don't think that.
But
that
that's
is-
also the one we forgot about. It was the least popular sport
Yes.
for me on there. So
correct. We both were like, oh shit, that's right, boxing.
Well, isn't Mortal Kombat boxing just without the gloves?
No,
Okay.
it is more like.
Street Fighter.
That's what I said. I said,
But there's
yeah. Okay,
it's like kickboxing,
PUBG Battlegrounds, which is 100% violence.
which is
That's
like
all.
Fortnite.
It's-
I wonder
it's-
where
it's
Fortnite would be on this list. if it was-
Fortnite would be
If
so
you-
violent. Yeah.
No, I meant the sales list
Oh, good.
because Fortnite is for sure free.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That is Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It is not meant to be a violent game because it is a racing game and it is for kids. However, you get blue shelled, you get red shelled, you get green shelled, you spin out on a thing. They have a battle mode where you're trying to shoot them, and so it is
Acceptable
could
violence.
it could be a violent game.
Didn't you say that the plumber was violent? In
Yeah, 'cause
Super Mario Brothers, the next one. Technically, it's violence because then Bowser's also shooting flames at you.
And I think that goes back to what I was saying about, are we talking about something that's violent
Or gratuitous.
or graphic?
Red Dead Redemption 2, violent.
It's definitely
Overwatch,
That's
violent.
Wild Wild
Witcher
West.
3, violent. And number 11, I'm going to throw this in there, is Tetris. So there's two
The original
Tetrises in the
Tetris,
top.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the original Tetris. The other one was that one that came out on the mobile games.
I can get violent if somebody interrupts my Tetris playing. I like that. I enjoy that.
You get violent if I ask you to do the dishes.
Also accurate. But I don't rip your spine out. Slap your
Only-
There was a video
only because-
for Willow?
Only
Hold
because you
on.
can't. If you could, I would be in danger.
This just took a bad turn, guys.
Now we're gonna. Next episode, where Kristen plays Willow for an hour.
Oh my god, I didn't know.
Are
it
you Willow?
existed.
Are you Mad Mardigan?
Also,
I can't tell. I need somebody.
Willow.
also on this list in like the top 16, 17 is We Fit. I mean, there's
Is it really? Did we totally gloss
Well,
over
there
that?
is, like,
Oh
you
shit!
know,
Yeah.
the
And
kids
Animal Crossing.
You like to play like Just Dance, which isn't violent.
Oh, there's definitely no violence in that.
is Pac-Man violent?
No. Well,
Well,
I mean, once you eat the magic star or
yeah,
strawberry
and you
or whatever,
go nuts and try to
Then
eat
you eat
everybody like a
ghosts.
freaking
Yeah.
cannibal.
it's ghosts.
but it's not. You think they're ghosts because they're not ghosts before that.
And again,
Afterlife.
I don't think the problem is violence. I think the problem is
The portrayal of
graphic,
gratuitous.
images.
Yeah.
I would.
Why do we keep using the big word gratuitous? I don't even know what that means.
She said graphic.
Damn.
She said graphic.
I know. No, but then you said gratuitous again.
Because
For like
I
the
used
third.
it one time.
But it's what it is though. That's the best word.
No, I know. I know. I know.
I will
I know.
explain to you what it means later.
You know, like
You know what's on the conversation, guys? They don't have the podcast.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like there's
extra.
violence and then there's 15% more. That's gratuitous.
There's violence and then there's gratuitous. What the fuck does gratuitous mean?
20% more if it's really good violence.
Even,
that was good.
even the upstairs audience is listening and laughing. So
You should get another guest speaker about Halo, Mr.
Yeah, one of these days.
John.
We mostly do retro stuff, so
yeah.
Yeah, but
he can talk about Mario. He's big on Paper Mario now. He got that recently.
I never got
Paper
into
Mario
Paper
2?
Mario.
I don't know. He likes it.
So yeah, so violent video games. There's half, more than half of the market of video games seem to be violent video games. 1941.
You could make it a case for literally most games that come out nowadays.
1941, the one that's on the screen right now. You are a
Pilot, yeah.
trying to shoot down. But again, if it's, I'm going to use this word like for the fourth time, militarized, it's okay. Right? I mean,
Punisher looks coked out in this game.
It's like the comic book version of
But like
Punisher.
his face, he looks coked out.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. The Punisher, 100% violent game. I mean, the Punisher himself.
I love the Punisher.
It's such a good movie.
I'm talking about the show.
Oh, I'm talking about the movie. The movie was great.
Which
But
movie?
The one with that came out with John Travolta and all that.
With a Jane? Thomas Jane?
Thomas Jane, that's it, yeah. That was a great movie.
You should watch the show on Netflix. It was really good.
I'll have to check it out. But I mean, there is a lot of you are correct. A lot of the more common top video games are violent. Final Fight, one of the greatest arcade games of all time, it has the word "fight" in it. But you are fighting for something, right? It depends on the storyline. You know, like there's more to violent video games than just. I think what people see is they see it like, oh my god, it's a violent video game. You're Grand Theft Auto, you're going around and killing people. Yes, there's also a story too. You know, like I'm not going to get into that story, but
I googled games without violence. Number one shows up as Minecraft.
lies.
Animal Crossing and New Horizons are on here.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
The only other one on this list that we talked about was Just Dance. But these other games, never heard of them. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Okay.
Night in the Woods. Monkey Island. The Witness. Getting Over It.
Super Monkey Ball.
Rhyme. Journey. Fez. Is that 70s show based on? Like 2D platformer with nostalgic aesthetics. I don't know. Pixelated something or other. Elibits. Celeste.
I mean,
Grow Home.
Pong.
Pong
Pong
is not
can turn into violence.
That's violence against the ball.
But
It's
it would
also
be
violence when I lose.
for you guys to do an episode on like puzzle games, like Myst, strategic puzzle games like that.
Well, puzzle games just evolved into games like Tomb Raider and Prince of Persia
also violent.
Legend of Zelda.
Zelda, yeah, where you had to solve these little... What game... There's puzzles in Spider-Man that I'm playing now.
Yeah. So I think we covered a lot in this episode. Not as much as we could have.
Yeah, we could definitely revisit.
We can go on with this one for.
Well, like I said, there's anything could be violence.
Yes. This Nemo game that's on the screen.
Did you ever see that as a kid? Did you ever watch that movie?
Mm-mm.
What was
Oh
it?
my
What was the name of it?
Nemo.
Little Nemo.
Little Nemo. Yeah, that's
Little
all.
Nemo.
Wow.
So-
Get me in here about weird, obscure children's movies from the 80s and 90s, and I'm here.
Well, I thought that was my username in the corner of this. I thought it said Boiler Up.
No, that says Bullet Up.
Bull
Up. So, yeah, I think this is a good place to stop for this episode. Though, I mean, there's tons of violent video games out there. I mean, that's
Yes, reach out. Tell us your
that's
favorite.
What video games?
Maybe we
are.
missed one. Send us an email.
terriblegamerspod@gmail.com. You can reach us on Facebook as well too, Terrible Gamers Pod, and also we are on multiple streaming platforms. I'm not even going to go through them all, but we're probably on it.
Yeah,
minus
pull it up and
Apple
you'll find
and
it.
Google, because I still haven't figured that one out yet.
Yeah, we're fine without it.
So thank you to our live studio audience, Kristen and Carol.
You guys were vital this time. I would clearly say.
Huh?
It was nice having you guys in here to talk about this stuff with.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Ditto.
Thanks for tolerating me.
No, much more than that.
So, all right, for Terrible Gamers, he is
Kyle.
and I am Kevin. Thank you all for listening, and keep on playing.